This is me as a child playing with my sister. Actually, this is just some random video footage to prove a point. As a child, I was open and curious to discover this world, but somehow I just didn't like going to school as a kid. I asked myself even then, what am I doing here anyway? Why do I have to learn this by heart? Can't I do something that I enjoy? Even at the age of 13, I began to rebel inside. These 1000 rules that I'm supposed to follow here. Certainly not me. This sluggishness continued throughout my school years, up to and including my chemistry studies. And this is the story of how it all changed and what I learned along the way. Exactly 8 years ago, I was employed as a chemist. And no, I was not wearing any glasses. 8 years ago, I was in the same place and I had absolutely no desire for my job. It was so boring actually. And after a while of thinking, I was being like, I have to change my job. This is no way around it. Now I'm going to share with you the 6 steps which helped me to leave my job and start my own business. Step number 1. Find your passion first. Sit down one evening and write down a big list of all the things you are passionate about. Let your creativity run wild and really write down everything that comes to your mind. Take your time and enjoy the process. This is me enjoying the process of being in front of the camera. At the time, I wasn't even thinking about leaving my job, but as it was more and more obvious that I really didn't like my job, I knew, okay, something has to change. But this step helped me because my fears didn't get in the way of leaving my job. The desire for change was simply greater. Step number 2. Begin training and further education in these areas. On Google, I searched out all possible educations, which somehow came to my mind. Search only what really touches you and you love to make. If the thought comes up that you can't do it or you're not good enough, focus on the fact that you're doing this education just for you. What really helped me was that I didn't think much further about whether I could do this professionally at all. In the end, I just wanted to do it for myself. That is one of the reasons why these small steps are so important, so that you can overcome your resistances and your fears towards that goal. Many of us trying to do that all at once and in the end are getting so exhausted because they are not ready to do it in the long term. If you just start doing your first educations and your first trainings, you will be much closer to your goal to start your own business. Then it already feels that you're on the way in that direction. Step number 3. What services can I offer from these areas? When I did the first educations, it was so clear to me, I want to change my job. The education I was doing was called Mental Training in Sports, and it fascinated me so much. I was sitting inside of this classroom and was being like, oh my God, this is so good. And I was asking myself, why should I keep continue with this nonsense of chemistry if I don't have desire at all? So I wrote out the first services I wanted to do and concentrated on one service. Step number 4. Make yourself visible on the internet. Once you have decided on your first product or service, start showing yourself somewhere on the internet. I didn't mean it like this. Just make yourself visible every day, somewhere on one internet platform. Write down everything which is inspiring you and what you deal with every day. From another YouTuber, Ali Abdal, I got this great book tip, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. He describes that you don't need any marketing. Just start to show your daily work on a platform and give something out every 1 to 2 days if possible. That was one of the reasons why I started this channel. As long as you can put out what you deal with on a daily basis, you will find people who need your service. I believe it will just take enough time and you will find the right people who love what you're doing. To be more visible, you can even set up a small website. Today you can make a nice small website on Wix or Jimdo for very little money and offer your services. Step number 5. Get a mentor who has already gone the distance. A mentor can help you take the first steps in your self-employment. This can be a famous personality or a neighbor who runs a successful painting business. Often he has information and strategies that can shorten the time it takes to achieve results, which is very important. Personally, it has helped me above all to make fewer mistakes, which I normally would have made. Usually you can just write them and ask for their advice. Most of the time they're very happy to help a young, ambitious entrepreneur to help growing their business. And now we come to the most important step. Step number 6. Quit your job. I know it is scary in the beginning to quit your job, but if you have followed these previous steps, I definitely know you are on the right track. These have helped me a lot to reduce the fear as I was already getting closer and closer to my goal. Some of you may be thinking, but don't I need a business plan? 90% of the time you will only need it for very large projects because you need to show them to investors. This is just the next excuse to not take any action. At least it was for me like this. Most of the time, just to realize how many times you were creating another plan and in the end you still don't do anything at all. It is probably best if you stop doing that. These are my steps along the way which I learned to grow my business and to start my own business. Thanks so much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you like that video, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to see more videos about personal development, lifestyle change and nutrition.